So good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Ask Tom Database Cloud Service Office Hour session on the OCI and OCI Classic Clouds, on the database clouds from Oracle. My name is Robert Pastijn, coming to you from the Netherlands in Europe, and I've been working with Oracle with the Oracle product since 1996, but with the Oracle Corporation since 2000. So part of product management, and we try to give you all the information we have available on the system. So first, let's have a look at the questions. So because of GDPR and all of the other things, I really have to, I cannot put any names in the system anymore because apparently it's not allowed anymore. So I'll just call it A person, asked, do you get access to the host service with database cloud service? Can we log in as root? Is there a difference between DBCS and the database systems running on OCI? Well, I put it in a very nice overview. Database on OCI, DBCS has root access, OCI DBAS has root access as well. Be aware, those are two completely different database services. I mean, the database product is underneath, but it's not really the same product, so have a good look at those differences. Exadata Cloud Service also gives you root access, operating system access, but not on Exadata Express, and also not on the Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse Cloud. That one will not give you root access as well, only login prompt with SQL Developer. And last but not least, of course, if you deploy your own database on infrastructure as a service, either OCI or OCI Classic or all of the other things, then you will, of course, have root access because you need it to actually do that. Second question of today is a person called D. Dear sir, I've got an error when I try to do a backup through RMAN. Pretty sure the directory I'm trying to backup does exist, and it works normally in the same directory without any problem. So I'm pretty sure everything should go wrong, and Oracle made an error. Well, first thing I noticed is that the directory you specify here is a Windows format, and this is a session on Database Cloud, and Database Cloud is, as far as I know, and I'm pretty sure about that, only on Linux available. So this is not really a cloud question, but hey, okay, well, it's my second question in half a year, so why be picky? So I have a look at your parameters here, and what I noticed is that you specify a channel with a certain disk format, and which means that the first time RMAN tries to write something, it writes to this directory or to this file perhaps. And then the second time it tries to use exactly the same file name again, but it already exists because you already created a file before. So this means that you will get the error that you have here, which says created file already exists, which is true. And then it errors, it deletes everything. You go into the directory, you can't see anything, you think something is wrong, but it isn't. Solution for this problem is make sure you add a format specifier, which means you add a variable in your path, in your disk format path. For example, if you do monsendir / and then backup and then T, S, and P or something like that, and you will have T replaced by a timestamp or a backup sub number or backup piece number. At least you will have unique file names, and I'm pretty sure your problem will be solved at that moment. So those were the questions I had for you. Oh, sorry, go the other way. Looking at interesting news on database in the cloud, we have OCI has now HIPAA and PCI DSS attestations available. So if you have any customers that need that, so be aware they are available for OCI. I didn't really find any additional information on OCI databases. Looking at OCI Classic, which is interesting because a lot of people think that Classic is really Classic and is actually being phased out. The strange thing is that there's more database development on OCI Classic than there's actually on OCI. So looking at the new options, you can use VPN as a service to connect to domains, so which means you can have a database in one domain and you can have your application in another domain. Sometimes that grows, or a customer says, oh, I need access to a remote database out of another product, and then you can now do VPN as a service between those domains, so you can exchange information for the database or connect application to the database without any problems. Second one, DBCS, that is the OCI Classic interface, now supports 16 terabyte storage volumes, which means that we can add 20 times 16 terabyte storage volumes, which will add up to more than 300 terabytes of storage volumes, which makes it our biggest database in the cloud, not looking at Exadata, but the biggest database in the cloud possibility, 320 terabytes. So that those terabytes, those storage volumes are on NVMe. They are accessed through iSCSI, but they are still running on NVMe drives. So they are really, really fast and, well, very big database in case you need it. Third bullet, Apex 514 is now included in the single instance deployments on DBCS, which is interesting because Apex 18.1 has been released a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, I think. So I really hope that they will add Apex 18.1 to the system as well. But this for those people that now want to migrate from on-premise into the cloud and still using 5.1.4, you can now migrate into the cloud because the images are there. Fourth bullet is that there are new backup API subcommands to make life easier. So if you log into your image and you want to test the backup, look at which backups are available, or change your backup credentials, for example, which you need to do once in a while, then the backup API subcommands have been increased and you can get more information out of that. Look at the documentation if you want to have some more specifics. So we have the April 2018 bundle patch or release update or PSU, whatever you want to call it, depending on the release that you are using, the version you are using, is now available as a patch you can apply. Make sure you always upgrade the database tools to the latest version, the RPM on the system. Look at the manual on how to do that. And only after upgrading the database tools to the latest version, you are able to apply this April bundle patch. So the upgrading of the database tools at this moment is a manual step. They are working on automating that so that you always have the latest version available. But beware, now it's a two-step process. So first upgrade the database tools and then upgrade and patch your database on the system. So January 2018 bundle patch is available and PSU is available. It's now integrated in the base images. So the moment you start up a new 11.2, 12.1, 12.2 or 18, the latest bundle patch from January is available. Of course, not on 18 because 18 only started on January, but 11.2, 12.1, 12.2 images has the latest January bundle patch. If you then want to apply the April bundle patch, that's not a problem. You can just apply it. Last but not least, I think biggest visual change on database DBCS in the cloud, OCI Classic database, is that the database as a service monitor has been replaced by SQL Developer Web. So SQL Developer Web is a product, web-based product that looks like SQL Developer with some tooling around it. It can do the same monitoring, it can do the same display of information and bugs and statuses of operating system and all of these things that were available with Database as a Service Monitor. I think it looks nicer and it's probably more of a look and feel that DBA is already used to. So I like the change. As an example, just a couple of screenshots on what the SQL Developer Web looks like. You log into the SSL section, so port 443, which is the default one. Don't forget to open it up because by default it's closed. So you first have to go into open ports and then open port 443, the default HTTPS port. You type in HTTPS : / and then your IP address, enter, and you will end up maybe with a warning you have to acknowledge, and you end up at this page. This is the Oracle Database Cloud Service REST API section, a little menu. And in the bottom, you will see as the second one, SQL Developer. You have to fill in a schema name and you have to fill in a username, a pluggable database name and a schema name that you want to access. Sorry. The moment you press on go, you will go to the next page and you get a username password again. So a couple of, for me, little annoying things. First of all, why did I enter a schema name in the previous window and then I have to enter it again here? Okay. Second thing is that I found really annoying and cost me about half an hour is that the username always has to be in uppercase, has to be in capitals. So you can't log in with lowercase pdbadmin. It's always uppercase pdbadmin. So keep that in the back of your mind. Password for pdbadmin by default is the same as the password you used in the wizard, in the initial creation wizard of the system. And of course, you can go into the database and change the password of pdbadmin, and then you can log in through this one with the new password. Also be aware that only pdbadmin in the PDBs are enabled for SQL Web. SQL Developer Web. So you can't, by default, cannot go into the root container, cannot log in with system, cannot log in with other things. It's really a user you have to enable before you can get access. It's a two-step operating system command you have to execute. Look at the manual on how to do it. You can get access to as system to the root container, but by default it has not been enabled just for security reasons. And when you finally log in, you get a screen like this, which shows you a nice status, the alerts, some storage things, some session information. You can drill down, you can go into a worksheet where you can just execute commands on the command line. You can go into Data Modeler if you want to, SQL Monitor, and all of these nice things that are available in the SQL Developer Web version. Overview of the DBA menu. So manage listener backups. You can look things up on the operating system, how loaded is my system, and things like that. So again, just as a short summary, things to be aware of. So only PDB-admin is by default enabled. Don't start being very frustrated that you can't log in as sys or system or in the root container. You really have to enable that on the system. And the database as a service tools are deprecated. And what you will see is that the moment you upgrade the database tools RPM on your DBCS image, so the moment you upgrade the DBCS tools, at that moment, SQL Developer will be installed automatically on your system, and Database as a Service Monitor will be removed automatically in the background. So be aware of that, and don't get scared if that happens. So these were my questions, and these were my answers, and these were the things that I noticed in the last couple of weeks on Database as a Service. This was my last session. I've done 4 or 5 sessions now. And well, initially I tried to answer as many questions as possible, but there were not that many questions. Basically only 2 questions asked and a Windows question. So it's not really a lot for 5 sessions. So what we decided on, we have the same thing in United States. We have a couple of colleagues in the United States that do the similar sessions that I do. And we're going to bundle our forces and do a session every month. And then, so I have to do once every 2 or 3 months. We'll probably be in a different time. We'll probably be in the afternoon so that we cover both EMEA and we cover United States and other parts of the world. And the setup that we are planning is basically we're first going to take a subject, and you can always give us suggestions on subjects that you would like to see. And based on that subject, we will give a short presentation, maybe a demo or more information that we can find, followed by a Q&A, followed by a generic Q&A where you can still ask all the questions you have on Database Cloud, either in OCI or OCI Classic. So that will be the new session. So next month will not be at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning. First Monday of the month session from me. You will get information, and I'll make sure you get the information on the new sessions that we are going to prepare. If there aren't any other questions, I would like to promote my colleagues. Stephen Feuerstein, for example, he has a session that I think already started. Okay, well, you can always look at the recording. And tonight we have Dan McGann on JavaScript and the Oracle database. And tomorrow, Christian Shea is there again on .NET and Visual Studio. More information on https://asktom.oracle.com. For now, I wish you a very good day, and hope to see you in any of my other sessions that I'm delivering together with my US colleagues. Okay. Thank you very much, and good day.